This is the website for the United States Supreme Court. We're going to talk a little bit about the cases that go before the court. So on the website, you can see a calendar. It shows their argument days, their conference days. We're going to come up here and look at opinions. So the term of a Supreme Court starts on the 1st October of a year. So this is 2021. So October 4th was the first day that the court heard cases or oral arguments. So we don't have any opinions yet from this term. But if we go here, click on opinions of the court, you can see that for the term year 2021, which will go from October of 2021 through May, June, July, depending on when they finish their final arguments or opinions in 2022. So there's no opinions here. We would have to go up into the oral argument to see transcripts, look for cases that are going to be on the docket coming up. But we're just looking at opinions. So we're going to click 2020. So this is the 2020 to 2021 year. And you can see October 5th would have been that first Monday of October last year. It runs through the rest of the year, right up until the next term starts technically. You can see their last opinion was issued of August 26th of this year. So this shows just the opinions that are handed down. And there's a couple of things that I want to point out. So number one, the Supreme Court hears two types of cases. They hear major federal questions and they answer constitutional issues. So we're going to look for a particular type of case, and they're not that hard to find. And typically, if we just use this search criteria, we'll be right on the money. So I'm going to pick a random month. Let's go February, March, April. Somewhere in here, we're looking for this type of case. So there's a couple of things. Number one, you can see a case down here, Florida versus Georgia. And it's two states involved in a case. And we're going to ignore those because those are cases in which the federal government has original jurisdiction. They get to decide disputes between the cases. So this is a lawsuit in which the state of Florida or the state of Georgia has initiated action against the other. That's different than Jones versus Mississippi. When you see a case that has a state name and a private individual's name, the odds are that this is going to be a criminal case and it's going to involve a constitutional issue. And you can see as I highlight over the text, or if I click on it, we're going to come down here and find somewhere in here a constitutional issue. And I've used this particular case as example for the last year. Miller versus, in the case of a defendant who committed a homicide when he or she was under the age of 18. So we're asking the question specifically related to juvenile offenders receiving the death penalty at some point. Does it violate the Constitution? We don't have to be an expert on this case. Just want you to see if I click on Jones versus Mississippi, and then let's look for another one. So we're looking for a state and a private individual. A state and a private individual. We're going to ignore Trump versus New York. I think this is going to be election related. I don't think this is going to involve a constitutional issue. It's going to involve a federal law. So it's a lawsuit. So we're going to go back and look. I'm not seeing a lot of them. Thought there would be more of them. Same thing here. We have a state, but we have what looks like a private company. So that's criteria. But okay, here's Lang versus California. Police officers, warrantless entry. So this is a Fourth Amendment issue. All right, so now let's look at the real purpose of our video. I've created this video to give you an extra credit opportunity for your course. So if this video is posted in your course, I'm going to let you come through a term, and you don't have to select 2020. I just want an opinion that has already been decided, not a case that's pending or anything like that. So you can come through any of these years and find a case that involves a criminal justice issue related to your class. So if you're in the courts class, all of these are court cases, so all of them are relevant. You can cover anything because you're in a courts class. If you're in legal aspects of law enforcement, you need to find an issue specifically related to law enforcement. So the Jones versus Mississippi case wouldn't apply to you because it involves an Eighth Amendment issue, a punishment issue. So again, come through and find where there's a state, Currier versus Virginia. Does this involve, he was indicted for burglary, the prosecution. So this is not going to be a law enforcement case. Other cases that you could look at are ones in which the United States is a party, because the United States is the federal government party in criminal prosecutions at that level. So federal cases that involve crimes in which the FBI might be involved, or DEA, or Border Patrol, or whatever, they're going to be a private individual versus the United States, or United States versus that private individual. So you could search through, let's look at Rosales Morales versus United States, individuals per imprisonment, federal law. So again, not law enforcement, but still going to be criminal justice related. We can look at that. So again, just come through, search for those types of cases, find one that applies to the course that you're taking. And then what I would like for you to do is record your own video in which you outline for us the facts of the case, the details that led to the arrest, for example, or the punishment that was alleged to be unconstitutional. Just detail us what happened in the case. Why are we talking about this case? Identify the legal issue. So if it's a constitutional issue, what amendment are we talking about? What's the legal question that the court is going to decide? And then finally summarize the opinion of the court. What decision did they hand down? All right, so what we'll do is if you submit a video to me, and in your course with this video, there will be a place to submit those videos. If you submit one, and you've covered those three areas, the facts of the case, the legal issue, and the decision of the Supreme Court, I will add 10 points to your final exam grade. You have one opportunity. You may not record multiple videos for multiple points. You can record multiple videos for the same amount of points. But you can contact me if you have questions about it, but I want a video of you recording the case, the facts, the legal question, and the decision of the Supreme Court.